Hey everybody, welcome back. Got a watch from a brand that I've never owned before. This is the Citzen ecodrive Weekender. So like I said, I've never owned one of these before. Before I dive in and actually show you the watch, I just want to give a quick overview of what ecodrive actually is, because I had to look it up because I've never owned one. I've always been interested. I knew that it had something to do with light, but I didn't really know too much about how it actually worked or how long batteries lasted using ecodrive. So here's just a little quick bit of information that I found, and it may be useful for you guys too. So as you can see here on this little graph I put on the screen, this is right from Citzen's website. Light comes in through the dial, and underneath the dial there is a solar panel, similar to what you would have on a house, and that fills a lithium-ion cell, which then powers the movement. So there isn't a traditional battery in this watch, and when that lithium-ion cell is fully charged, this particular watch can last for 8 months without needing any more light. And it says any type of light will charge it. Sunlight is the best. Indoor lights are kind of weak, but they will provide your watch with some battery. So it's really kind of cool that you could not have to wind, charge, worry about your battery. 8 months on one full charge, go out for a couple hours in the sun and you're fully charged. That's pretty awesome. Also, a lot of the watches do have on the face a light level gauge. This does not. So this works like a fairly traditional battery, and the second hand will skip every 2 seconds instead of every 1 to let you know that the battery is low. So that's fairly standard for most battery-powered watches. All right, now diving into the actual watch itself, comes in a fairly standard box similar to a Pagani or a Seiko, anything kind of like that. Just says Citzen on the outer sleeve. You pop that off and it says Citzen again with a nice white cover. Popping that open, you get a look at the watch for the first time. It's very simple, just the watch on a fairly large watch pillow or whatever you want to call it. It's not really pillow material. It's kind of like a hard foam. It's actually really nice feeling. And then at the bottom of the box is just the warranty card and information. It's very plain. It's very to the point. You don't get a ton of extra stuff with this. It's not like a Pagani where you pop it open and there's a bracelet and a tool and all that kind of crazy shit that you don't really need. This is just the watch. That's all you get. And first impressions without taking it out, it looks really cool. I've never owned a Citzen, like I said, and first initial view of it from in the box, I think it's a really cool looking watch. Popping it off the watch pillow, the first thing I notice right off the bat is the rubber strap of this watch is incredibly soft and incredibly nice feeling. I'm not sure exactly what type of material it is, but it feels very, very, very comfortable, flexible. It's probably great out in a sweaty day because it has some grooves to allow, I think, the sweat out from underneath you, but it also seems very breathable. It is water resistant to 100 meters, so you can get wet with this watch, and I think this is the perfect bracelet for it because it is incredibly comfortable. A little information on the size of the watch. It is a 44 millimeter case diameter. But I'll show you when it's on my wrist. It really doesn't, in my opinion, wear that big. It is 12 millimeters thick. The band is a little over 9 inches, so there is a lot of excess on here, and it is a 23 millimeter band, so you're not going to have the easiest time replacing these, especially since the rubber does sit flush to the case. So if you replace it, it won't look as nice as this does. Kind of has that Rolex Oyster Flex bracelet look where it's a perfect match to the case. It even looks like the case has some rubber around the outside of it. I believe that's part of the charging unit. So yeah, the black sits perfectly against the black of the under bezel case, and it just looks really nice. As I said, it is water resistant to 100 meters. But yeah, it does not feel like it is as big as the 44 millimeters it says it is. Quick shot here of the Lume. It's very average. It's on the hour and minute hands, and it's on every other hour marker, which I think is a little bit strange. I don't really think you're going to be wearing this in the dark and needing to look at the light. It's really more of a, I guess you could wear it all day, but I don't think this is the kind of watch that you're going to be wearing it at night, really looking for the time. It's just, more of, I think, a novelty that they put it on there. But it is the brightest lume, which is kind of disappointing because I figured you could maybe kind of tap that into the ecodrive. Probably not, I guess. It's not like a Casio in their light system, but I do wish that it was a little brighter and lasted a little longer. Here's it on my wrist. I'm going to have a shot of it here in the light and then a shot outdoors with it. But I do think it looks really nice on the wrist. I don't think it wears as big as 44 millimeters, and I think that has something to do with the nice design of the case and the fitted band going into the case beautifully. There's not a lot of extra wasted space on this watch. And black is thinning to begin with. So I think if you do have a smaller wrist, I wouldn't be super afraid of this watch. It is definitely bigger than most watches are, but I don't think you should be afraid of it at 44 millimeters. The bracelet here, strap, rubber band, whatever you want to call it, as you can see, definitely has a little bit of extra overhang, a little longer than I have with most rubber bands that I use, but it is incredibly comfortable, and as you can see, it doesn't really leave a lot of gaps like some rubber bands do because they need to be broken in a little more. This one sits perfectly flush and beautifully right away, which I think is awesome, and it is incredibly comfortable. This is one of the most comfortable watches I've ever worn or can remember wearing in the recent years, so huge shout out to Citizen for that. It's incredibly comfortable. So overall, I'm really happy with this watch. For my first Citizen, I wasn't really knowing what to expect. I know that they're a well-revered brand. I know that they're very well talked about. They're not the highest price point watch, but this watch wasn't exactly cheap. It was right around $150 on Amazon. I do think they're on sale now if you're looking to get one. I'll put a link down in the description as to where you can find it. But this with shipping sent me back a little under $160, but I think it's an awesome value for that. Of course, you can get other watches of similar styles for cheaper since this isn't a mechanical watch, but this feels incredibly well made. I love the ecodrive concept and how it works. I think that's really cool, and it can allow you to kind of just forget about charging, winding, all of that kind of stuff. This will kind of just take care of it for you, and I think that's really cool. And it's just incredibly well made in my opinion. It feels great, it wears great, it looks really nice. They didn't waste money and time on the packaging, which I think is cool, because clearly that money went into the overall brand and the watch itself. So a huge recommendation for this watch. I know one of my biggest videos lately was the Duro, the Casio. If you want to spend a little more than that and get a watch that I think is even better, I'm not going to do a comparison because those videos don't do really well on here, at least on my channel. But I do think if you want to spend about $100 more, definitely get this over the Duro. The rubber band is way nicer, it wears way better, and I think you're probably going to get an equal or better product. That's my review here on this guy. I would recommend it to everybody, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.